Battle Through the Heavens, Chapter 93, Destruction of the Jia Clan Medical Caravan. Xiaoyan's resolve to dismantle his enemies has led him straight to the Jia clan's vital supply lines. As their medical caravan moves through the stifling heat under heavy guard, they remain blissfully unaware of the storm brewing on the horizon. The time for gathering intelligence has passed, and the first strike of retribution is about to fall.
7 or 8 horse carriages crawled along the wide road. The sun hung heavy in the sky, baking the earth. Sweat soaked through the shirts of the guards flanking the wagons. Every few minutes, a fresh round of cursing broke out as the men struggled against the stifling heat. Jia Nu sat inside one of the lead carriages. As the second elder of the Jia clan, his recent breakthrough to a 3-star Dou Qi had cemented his place among the elites of Wutan City. His presence here was proof of how much the clan valued this shipment of medicinal herbs. He had not yet heard the news that Dou Qi was missing. If he had, he might have abandoned the expensive cargo and fled for his life. The carriage jolted and swayed, but Jia Nu remained still, sitting cross-legged. 3 days of travel had worn on his patience. He was a man used to comfort, not the dust of the road. He ground his teeth and hissed a curse under his breath. This was the Xiao clan's fault. Sooner or later, they would pay. He glanced toward the back of the wagon at the rows of low-grade herbs. He felt a flicker of annoyance. Storage rings would have made this trip easy, but even a low-grade ring only held a few cubic feet of space. Moving a haul this size would require 5 rings, and they were far too rare and expensive. Even the entire Jia clan only owned 2. His eyes were just beginning to flutter shut when the caravan jerked to a stop. Shouting erupted from the front. Jia Nu frowned. He was about to call out for an explanation when a guard ran up to the window, his breath coming in short, ragged bursts.
Elder, a man in black is blocking the path.
The guard reported. Jia Nu's expression darkened. They were already within the borders of Wutan City. Who would dare stop them here? He hopped down from the carriage, his eyes flashing with a cold light. He pushed past the wagons to the front of the line. A massive boulder sat in the middle of the road. A figure in black robes sat atop it, casual and unbone. Jia Nu couldn't see the man's face, but the stranger's posture radiated ill intent. "Who are you?"
Jia Nu demanded, his voice low and dangerous. "Why do you block our way?"
You are of the Jia clan, I take it.
A raspy, aged voice drifted from beneath the hood. Jia Nu's jaw tightened. He threw his hand up in a sharp signal. Behind him, dozens of guards drew their steel, their eyes fixed on the man in black.
I see I have the right people then.
The robed man said, with a faint, dry chuckle. He stood and hopped down from the boulder, walking slowly toward the line of wagons. Jia Nu didn't wait. He snatched a heavy bow from a guard standing nearby. He notched an arrow, pulled the string until it groaned, and released. The shaft vanished into a blur of wind, aimed straight for the stranger's throat. The arrow whistled through the air. A foot before it hit the man, a burst of white flame erupted. The wood and steel vanished in an instant, reduced to a fine black powder. Jia Nu's pulse thundered in his ears. His chest tightened as a wave of unease washed over him. This man was no common bandit. His power was at least that of a Dou Qi. He let out a slow breath and reached behind him, drawing a long blue spear. Blue Dou Qi surged from his palms and coated the weapon. The air around him grew damp and heavy. His cultivation leaned toward the cold, fluid nature of the water attribute. He gripped the spear tight and lunged. His body became a streak of blue light as he charged. Jia Li Nu leaped into the air, his face twisted in a snarl. He twisted the spear, and the blue energy flared with a blinding light.
Overlapping heavy waves. The mystic class technique was his pride. He had practiced it until the movements were as natural as breathing. Even a 6-star Dou Qi would have to take this strike seriously. The blue Dou Qi transformed. A massive wave of energy rose behind him, crashing down toward the stationary figure in black.
The guards cheered, remembering the bandits Jia Li Nu had slaughtered on previous trips. To them, this man was already a corpse. In the center of that crashing wave, the spear tip gleamed like a bolt of lightning, screaming toward the man's head.
Die!
Jia Li Nu roared. As the spear closed in, the man in black finally looked up. For a split second, Jia Li Nu saw a young, handsome face illuminated by the sun.
The boy from the Zhao clan?
Recognition hit him like a physical blow. His blood ran cold, and his killing intent spiked. He threw everything he had into the strike. Just as the spear was about to pierce the boy's skull, a massive wave of white fire exploded from the robed figure. The flames didn't burn with heat. They carried a bone-deep, soul-shaking chill. Jia Li Nu was swallowed instantly. The white fire cleared. The spear, the energy wave, and the man were gone. Not even a scrap of clothing remained. The cheering stopped. The guards stood frozen, their mouths hanging open. Their triumph turned to pure primal terror. They looked at the boy as if he were a demon, crawled up from the dark. Xiao Yan looked at the guards with cold, indifferent eyes. He raised his hand. Several small orbs of white flame flickered above his fingers. With a casual flick, he sent the fire flying toward the wagons. A series of muffled thuds echoed through the clearing. Before the guards could even scream, every herb in the shipment turned to gray ash.